Hello, hello, hello. Good evening and welcome to Conversation with Grandma Polly. Did you know, in addition to having the second largest number of Black residents after New York, Atlanta is the second largest location for feature films. It is also the third largest location for television productions. Georgia film industry is worth $4.4 billion, and it ranks first amongst the top grossing feature films in the world, followed by UK, Canada, and California. Put a pin right there. That's something I want you to think about, and we'll be back shortly. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Grandma Polly. We all know life sometimes can be overwhelming for children and families, but this is a place where we come and we highlight those who have overcame many challenges. In the past, many of us have survived life setbacks by turning lemon into lemonade. Please allow us to introduce you to Miss Heaven Hightower.
Tonight's guest is a 16-year-old multi hyphenate, successfully anchoring herself as an actress, model, philanthropist, author, and scholar. Miss Heaven Hightower began her modeling career at age 7, her acting career at age 8, and started her very own organization at age 9. Heaven has modeled extensively in numerous shows in her very own hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, as well as in New York and LA. Heaven's big break was her portrayal as the character Natasha in The Hate You Give, the film adapted from the book and directed by George Tillman Jr. Heaven is also the founder of Heaven Help One Help All Foundation Incorporated, an organization where Heaven helps local families in need through coat and toy drives and back-to-school programs, which Heaven has held annually since the age of 9 years old. Heaven authored a book around her modeling career entitled Heaven's Life on the Runway. Though busier than most 16-year-olds, Heaven has always managed to work hard in her educational pursuits, maintaining honors and an esteemed member of the National Honor Society. Also finding time as a member of the Art Club, the Student Advocacy Association, and is in her 3rd year on the cross-country team. Heaven's goal is to continue her pursuits and aspires to attend SCAD, the Savannah Creative Art and Design College, as a double major in fashion design and script writing. Learn more about Heaven's dedicated work and her exciting journey by following her on Facebook at model-actress Heaven Hightower and on Instagram and Twitter at I am Model Heaven. So without further ado, Conversations with Grandma Polly friends and followers, let's give a warm welcome to our very special guest, Heaven Hightower.
Hello, Heaven. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm well, and it is such a great pleasure to have you here with us this evening. Just following you in the things that you do. You're
Thank
busier
you.
than me. I thought I was busy, but you are way more busier than I am. And in the introduction, we told quite a bit about you. Is there
Mhm.
anything else that you want to tell us about yourself?
Well, I believe you guys said all of it, but did you guys say that I was an author? I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, y'all said everything.
Okay, so then we just go dive right in then. I want to know, how do you do all the things you do? How do you keep going? And I understand that you make excellent grades in school. So how do you do all of this and still manage to, make good grades and manage to keep up in school?
Well, I am a honor principal's list student. I don't make all A's, but mom and me, we agreed that school will always come first before I do anything else. So I know I have to keep up with my grades and stuff, but also with me acting and modeling, doing cross country, that also helps with my focus and just studying, cause acting helps with like pronunciation, also with studying skills, cause I have to study my lines and stuff. Modeling, more focus, so it all really obtains each other so that I can focus, get the grades that I need to get, and also do my other stuff that I want to do as a career. So,
Wow. Bright young lady, bright young lady. It sounds like you have a real strong support system
yes.
from your mom and others too. And
Yeah.
that's really important at your age and at any age when you're venturing off into the things that you want to do or you like doing, because I hear so many kids, they want to be on TV. They want to become actors. They want to become models.
Yes.
And some of it, some of them want to participate in sport. But we know that without the grades, these things you won't be able to participate in. So you have to be able to balance both sides.
Mhm.
And what are your plans after high school?
I'm planning to go to Savannah College of Art and Design to take up fashion design and or script writing. And I do want to continue modeling, acting, entrepreneur, author as well, but I want to take up those main two.
Okay, have you written any strips yet?
I did write one script back in, I believe, sixth grade, but
Okay,
I've been practicing and watching YouTube videos as well.
okay, so you started young, young. I remember in the introduction, we spoke about you coming into this as a young age, but even with the script writing, you started young. So it's like you got that vision and you already know what it is that you want to do.
Everything connects to everything really with like what I want to do with fashion design and script writing because I'm already an actor and I'm already a model, so I have resources.
Oh, ooh, yes. Resources is very important because there are so many people trying to break into the industry. But when you
Yes.
don't have the resources, does that make a difference? Does it make it more difficult?
It doesn't make it more difficult. It's just that you have to not only work for it, but you have to find it yourself. But I wouldn't say it would be hard because it's easy with finding stuff. But it's also, it might be a little tipsy on that side because if you really don't know, or if you have a friend they can refer you to. But I would say just you could come to anybody, me first say, anybody and ask. Just ask or look it up. I love
Okay.
being and looking stuff up on my own before I go to anybody else. So yes.
Okay. So you do a lot of research.
Mhm.
And research is key and research is important because, like you said, there are so many things out there that's available, but you have to
Mhm.
be able to find it or even connect with someone who already knows.
Yes.
So would you say it would be a little bit of both?
Yes, it would be a little bit of both because you might not have the same experience as the other person has. So it's always good to try new things, but also different things if that doesn't work out for you.
Okay, I like that. I like that because I tell people all the time, it's okay to change your mind.
Mhm.
You may decide you want to do this today and then you get into it and realize, I don't think this is for me or I don't like it. So it's okay to change your mind. But my one thing about changing your mind, when you change your mind, already have something else in your mind that you're going to change to. Just don't stop.
Always have a
Would you?
plan B, plan C.
There you go. I like that. I like that. So, what are some things about you that makes you stand out other than you being beautiful?
Thank you. Well, I don't. I do a lot of stuff that other teenagers in my life don't do, like entrepreneurship and other. I have friends that are some entrepreneurs and like fashion designers and stuff. But the thing about me is I have a balance of everything that I do. So everything won't be just cluttered up on me and stressful. And because I've heard some people, some teenagers, like they're stressed on what their parents want them to do. And then some parents doesn't let them have a break. Like my mom, she lets me have a break, and my mom understands boundaries. So I would say my mom is really my one that makes sure everything happens. She gets on it. So really it depends on what type of parent you got and what type of mentality you have, because if you're not really striving for what you want, it's not going to come to you.
Mm,
It's really support system, and it's also you, because what if I didn't have a mom that like didn't really want to push and go out for me? I would have to do it by myself, and I would have to push for myself and just do the things that she should be doing. But my mom does that, and I love her for that. And I love myself for pushing it and making it easier for the both of us and for just me and my career to be successful.
that's grown folk talk right there. Because you found that balance between you, your desires, the things that you're
Mhm.
active in, and the balance between your mom
Yes.
and having that support. Was there ever a time you felt burnt out, but your mom pushed you anyway?
It was like probably one time in acting. Probably just one time. I did feel like this is a lot, but she did push me, and also my coach even, they pushed me. And I'm not the type of person to like give up and stuff, and or just, I'm tired. But because they gave me that extra push, I'm a better actress, actor, model now, because they gave me that extra push and then that extra thrive and energy. So really it's because of them that I'm really also just pushing it, not just because of myself, but because I have that extra motivation, and I appreciate them for that.
That's grown folk talk right there. I mean, I hope you adults out there are listening, and I hope your children who are interested in this industry, I hope you have your children with you because heaven has just dropped a whole lot of knowledge on what it takes to be able to do the things that you want to do in life, and that's life, not just what you're doing, Heaven. This
Mhm.
is life, period. Whether it be in the industry or whether you're just working a 9 to 5. This is what it's all about. But I'm
Yes.
going to put a pin right there because we have another guest And we're going to bring you back in a little bit. So just hang out for me and we're going to bring you back in. But at this time, I'm going to thank the audience. I want to thank all of you guys for joining us tonight. And if you have not shared this video yet, please do. Tell a friend, you know, coworkers. Let them know that this is what we do. We bring folks in to come in and share their stories. And we do it on purpose of trying to inspire other people. I want to thank the audience, especially my sponsors.
Grandma Polly and the Big Rig Kids would love to extend our deepest gratitude, recognizing and thanking our sponsors and supporters for their patronage in supporting us. Simone Enterprises and Entertainment Productions Company, the Simone Family Foundation 501c3, Motherly Music Movement, WITS Writer in the Spirit, TNT Real Estate Team, and KJ Multimedia Solutions. We'd be remiss if we didn't also thank Metropolitan Library, who we held the auditions for the Big Rig Kids play, and Mount Gilead United Methodist Church, and also Nash Road Church of God for providing a space for Grandma Polly and the Big Rig Kids play coming in April. Details to come. Thank you. Your generosity and your belief in our mission have fueled our efforts and inspired us to reach new heights. If you'd like to learn how to become a BRK sponsor or a faithful follower, contact our Facebook page at Conversations with Grandma Polly, or also contact us at 980-833-9307.
I appreciate you guys. And before we go any farther, we're going to bring our next guest in. We're going to introduce Miss Lucinda Carr.
Tonight's guest, Lucinda Carr, is always smiling. That's what people say about her. Lucinda usually plays a lovable wife, grandma, or other caregiver types. When she played 89-year-old Rosemary McCoy in the musical It's Gonna Work Out Fine, her production received 9th place honors in the Strawberry One Act Festival. Lucinda has appeared in numerous commercials, with her favorite being Scary Mommy, What Happens at Grandma's Stays at Grandma's. Lucinda has studied on-camera technique with some of the industry's elite like Sean Middlebrooks, John Pelota, Roz Williams, Natalie Roy, and Christine Horn. She's participated in commercial scene study and audition workshops at Actors Connection, One-on-One Studio, and The Network, and done improv with UCB and sketch comedy with The Pit. Lucinda's trained in voiceover with Maggie Phillips, and for the theater with the Harlem Theater Company and the Negro Ensemble Company. At times, Lucinda has as many as 5 commercials running at the same time. She laughs about her role as aging superhero lady Marvelous in the short film Zero Issue. She also enjoyed working with Century Tree, hosting, and self-taped projects. Born in Georgetown, South Carolina, Lucinda now resides in Mamaroneck, New York. She holds a bachelor's degree in math from Fisk University and had a long-time corporate career working with computers before pursuing acting. Over the years, Lucinda wrote a book entitled 30 Days to Life, Poetic Expressions and Musings, and started a consulting business, helping people to publish their books and complete other computer-related projects. Lucinda sings soprano in her church choir and is an avid Sudoku puzzle solver. Her favorite saying is, "Take what you got and make what you want." Learn more and support Lucinda's journey by following her on Facebook at Lucinda Carr and on Instagram at lucinda.carr.actress. So, without further ado, Conversations with Grandma Polly, friends and followers, let's give a warm welcome to our very special guest, Lucinda Carr.
Hey, 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 Lucinda. How are you?
What's
Oh, we
Go
can't
ahead.
hear you.
Try again.
Really
Try. Yeah, now we can. Okay.
fascinating. Can you hear me
Yes.
now?
How? Yes, we can. The commercial says, "Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?" Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because I haven't moved. I don't dare move.
I get it. I get it. How are you?
I'm terrific. I'm great. I'm actually happy and just enjoying life.
I get it. Before we go into questions, I want to point something out. There is a
Okay.
picture that was in your introduction where you're dressed for like the holidays, the red and the white with the hat.
Oh yeah.
That picture, we're gonna have to talk about that picture later. That's a beautiful picture. I may have to use that picture in one of my promotions.
Okay.
Enough of that. Lucinda, we're both from the same town, actually graduated from the same high school.
Yep.
And before
Yep.
we go into your career, I remember being in high school and we would have these assemblies. And when it came down to the alma mater, and we messed it up when the assembly was over, the principal would make us stay in there and practice it over and over and over and over again. At that time, I did not realize that that song was written by you.
You messed up my song.
And we didn't sing it right. If the audience didn't, they would make the whole audience stay afterwards, and repractice and practice. And I was out of high school when I realized that you was the one that wrote that song. Can you tell us? Because I know some folks back home still trying to figure out how you came up with that song, or just like me, not even knowing that it was you until later on in life.
Well, it was very simple. Um, I've always been a creative kind of person, and as a kid, I wanted to be a songwriter. And I was always writing lyrics. No one else got to see them, and I didn't know what to do with them after I wrote them, but I was always writing lyrics. Well, I was in Mrs. Howard's music appreciation class, and
Hmm.
one day she played this tune, and she said to the class, I want you all to go home tonight and see if you can write some words to go with that tune. So, that was just for me right up my alley. So I went home and I worked on it until I came up with a whole song to go with the lyrics and brought it back the next day. And she chose my song. I only one or two people had something. And she chose my song and we changed one word in it and everything else was the original song.
And we sung that song because Choppy just closed down when in 20,
I
was it
think
2021, something like
around
that.
there, I don't remember the exact year, but around that time, yeah,
Yeah.
early,
And
early
you wrote it.
2000s.
Yeah, and you wrote it before you left high school.
Right. Yeah, I
So
wrote it back.
from
I can't remember what year that was, but back when I was like in 10th grade.
okay,
That I
so
remember. I was in the 10th grade.
that song had been around for a long time
Yes.
because it was passed on, through the years. And
Hmm.
to think you wrote such a hit that we will never forget, Choppy, our school, we praise, and I ain't gonna sing it because I can't sing, but I remember the words.
Yes. Yes. I love those words, and it just rolled off. It was just, yeah. I still do stuff like that, just scribble stuff down. I make up things. I forget a lot of them because I don't know what I did with them after I create them. But yeah, I would love to create. My brain just is always thinking of something.
Right. And to think you did something like that in high school and we used it for so long
Yeah.
and you never got paid for it, not monetarily.
I was always surprised. Like every now and then someone would come up to me and say, "Oh, I remember you. Are you the one that wrote the song?" I'm like, "Okay." And then I feel bad to have to say, "And who are you?"
I
Because
get it.
people knew me and people know me who I don't know because I was in a higher grade. And so I just didn't know the younger people.
Right. I get it. So now that we have talked about that song, and we're going to thank you for that song because, we say Choppy is going to, even though the school is no longer there, functioning as a school, but it's a place that we're going to always keep in our hearts. And that was one of the lines that you had in it because
We
that was
will love
part of
you
our
for
history.
always.
Yes. And keep thee in our hearts. So
Yes.
now you did that in high school, but Lucinda has been very busy in the industry because you have at least, I know I see three here in Atlanta. And when I lived in Charlotte, I think I saw at least three or four running at the same time, your commercials. But you do way more than commercials. Now be quiet. We don't talk about our school, and that's what I know. But we gonna let you tell us about some of your stuff.
What can I say? Wow, that's an open-ended question. Um, well, I've done mostly commercials for since, okay, back it up a step. In 2016, I quit my last job. Um, I'm sorry, 2006, because I decided that it was time for me to sink or swim as an actress because it's what I wanted to do. And I just kept feeling like I was burning out of every job I had. So I had some savings, not a ton, but I decided to jump in the waters and sink or swim. And I decided that if I failed, if I ran out of money before I succeeded, I would just go back home to South Carolina and I would stay with my mom. And I decided that I could live with that, even though I didn't like when she yelled. It kind of grated on my nerve. But I decided it was worth the risk, and because I really wanted to be an actress. So I resigned from my job, and I told God, okay, it's me and you. And I hope you don't let me sink, but I'm going to jump in and sink or swim. And basically, as I like to say, I'm still dog paddling. I am not swimming full out, but I'm still dog paddling and I've made some strides. And when I did first start with the industry, I decided to do commercials. And this was even before the 2000s. This was way back when I was trying to figure out how to get into the business. So I'm one of those people who uh, really didn't know what to do, had nothing going for me except an idea. And I decided I was going to be an actress. And actually, I decided I wanted an Academy Award. I just, you know, one day made that decision. And I was working in corporate America designing computer systems at the time. So I had to figure out, how do I get from here to an Oscar? And I just decided I'll figure it out. And I literally just started making all of my life decisions with that in the back of my mind. And in 2006, I quit my job to really give it a shot. And it was after that that I started doing commercials, because I was taking training for commercials initially because I thought that was the easiest thing to do. And so I started training back in the early 90s. I started training. And and I just literally kept taking classes here and there, taking classes here and there, take one here. And then as time went on, I started booking commercials, I think in like 2010, probably, I think. I remember booking a commercial for Verizon. And yeah, I don't have any clear cut thing. It's just I just kept chipping away. Google was here in 2007 when I said, okay, sit down at this computer and start. So sat down at the computer and started Googling. And I said, okay, let's start with extra work. And we'll do whatever we can find. And we'll talk to everyone we can talk to. And we'll take notes. And then we'll see what people are doing. And then we will try it and see what happens. And that's how I really started my career, working actively towards being a successful actress. And little by little, things would happen. I got a waiver right away. Didn't even know what a waiver was. I worked on the movie not Precious. I can't think of what it was starring Precious. I can't even think of the name of it now. But uh, I worked and got a waiver, and I was like, okay, that's the only waiver I ever got, actually. And I just really just was patient. I just kept chipping away and kept affirming, I'm going to do this. So affirmations, I realize, are huge because I've been doing affirmations from before I even knew what affirmations were. And one of them I used to use was, I'm going to be a success, and I'm going to have my own business. And so I've been doing that stuff. And I have to say, I believe it works because I've said it and I see it. And my ex-husband once said to me, everything that you say happens. I hadn't even realized it then, but I did that. I started doing commercials, and then little bit of independent film and stuff. And then I was auditioning and getting callbacks and not booking and getting frustrated. And a friend of mine said to me one day, so what's happening? And I told her, and she said, they don't believe you can play an old lady. She said, you look too young. So she said to me, go get yourself a gray wig. And I have to say, the very next audition I had, I booked it. And I've been playing on camera the little ladies since like 2010. Um, and eventually I kind of grew into it, but I seem to just have that. And so that's how I got to have all these commercials. I just kept chipping away. I have no big secret. I was persistent, and I just kept trying. I would try things, and even if other people say, oh, well, you're going to waste your money, I'm not going to pay for that. And I would say to myself, do you want it? Do you have the money? Go ahead and pay the money and get it over with. It'll either work or it won't, but you can eliminate that as a thing to be worrying about and then go to the next thing. And so that's what I've been doing is I work on something, and then it either did or it didn't work, and then I go to the next thing. And I just sort of built a career doing commercials without even realizing what a big deal it was until someone told me last year, 5 commercials a year is really a lot. And
Okay,
I had
Lucinda,
I had
I
no
want you to
idea.
put a pin. I want you to put a pin right there because you said so much. And with me being in contact with you often, I know a lot of things that you have done, and I know a lot of things that you're working on. But one thing that you said, and it ties in line with some of the stuff that Heaven talked about, and it's not just the industry itself; it's life. You want it, you got to go after it. You do whatever it is that you have to do legally.
Yes.
And I add the word with morals, morally with it,
Yes.
and to be consistent. Consistency
Consistency is
is,
good.
go ahead.
No, I said consistency is good. And I'm not always consistent, I must confess. I'm still working on discipline, but I am persistent. So if I don't keep it up, I go back, I'll go back to it. Like I won't quit. So, and I won't, if I stray, I bring myself back in line. And so I'm not always on point. But when I catch myself off, I bring myself back and regroup. I do that a lot because my brain, I think of so much stuff. So I kind of get myself, off a little bit. And I'm like, okay, come on back. What do you really have
Hmm.
to do? Let's see what we have to do to get those things done.
And that's the mind of an artist. Trust me, I know. It's
Yeah.
like my brain is just constantly going. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, I just need you to shut down. Just give me an hour. Just let me have an hour of no thoughts, no nothing.
Yeah.
And in reality, it's not realistic. I asked for it, but it don't come.
Yeah.
And it just keep going. And it's like, but we have to have that. We have to find that balance. We have to
You do it.
it has to be a balance there. But if it's something that they won't, that you say you really won't, you got to put in the work. You see a
Right.
60-second commercial
Right.
and you look at it and say, oh, that was a nice commercial, or that commercial made me chuckle. There was a whole lot more went into it
Oh, yeah.
than that 60 seconds.
A lot of time, years, learning, trying to understand what am I doing right, what am I not doing, and is it me? That was a lot of it is it me? And then you hear a lot of times like it's not you, it's the way it works. It's you're not necessarily doing anything wrong, and that's for me is very that was like something to like wrap my brain around like just because you didn't make it doesn't mean you did something wrong. And that's a hard one to, you know,
Right, right,
embrace. Like,
right.
you're not necessarily doing anything wrong. It's just life. And there's so many people and so many talented people. And and it's subjective and it's just you have to really just believe, be
In
persistent,
your, yes,
believe in yourself and believe, and keep be persistent. And that's really that's for me is what I've had going for me is that once I understood that I'm not necessarily doing anything wrong, I said, okay, well, in that case, let me keep working and just finding out all the things I can find out to help me and keep going. So that's how I got all those commercials out. And I think because I smile a lot, I think
yeah.
commercials are
You
happy.
have that smile that draws people in. Kenny, put that one back up. I think it was Miss Felicia that said that she saw the MetLife commercial. I want you to hear this comment, Lucinda. Kenny, could you put that back up for me? Oh, it said, I remember seeing you in a MetLife commercial. I used to wish you was my grandma. You were always
Oh,
so wholesome.
so sweet. That was a fun commercial. They shot it in my home, in my town where I live, and it was so much fun. And the little girl was so sweet, and I really wanted one of those cookies. But they weren't for us. They were props. But they
Oh,
were freshly
wow.
baked cookies. But they were not for us to eat. It was, and we shot that scene so many times that poor girl got tired of biting into those cookies, and then we wouldn't let her
Oh,
swallow it because that would be too many
and
cookies.
and see, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. People see the finished product, but they don't see the work and the time that goes into it. Is there anything else you want to share before I bring the next guest in? Because I only see one question. Anybody else out there have questions? There's a question that I'm going to ask, but I'm gonna bring Heather back in so I can ask both of you that question at the same time.
Well, I do have one thing I want to say.
Uh huh.
Um, I want to toot this new movie that I'm in.
Yes.
I've been doing commercials, but when I started the business, before I even started the business, I had this conversation with you that I stood in class and when the teacher said you can be anything you want to be, I said to myself, I'm going to be a movie star. because then I can make a lot of money and feed those hungry children. And I had no idea how naive that was. But I held on to that for so many years because I was going to get money to feed those children. And eventually, that evolved. And so but I loved acting. And so that kept me going until I could get my whole vision kind of straightened out. And now, after over 10 years of doing commercials, I've been focusing on movies and films and television because that's what I really wanted to do originally. Commercial was just my way in. And
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be in a Lifetime movie uh, called 12 Days of Christmas Eve, starring Kelsey Grammer on November.
Yes.
It's going to be on November 26th. It's a Saturday at 8 p.m. And I am Dr. Angeloni. And so I'm very excited because I realized that's what I wanted. Last year I got to be in Kingdom Business, and this year I got this. This was my third movie this year, so I'm like, it's sort of starting to register. Like you're doing it, that's three movies in 1 year. So I'm really psyched. So that's what I wanted to share. So everyone, go see the movie. I'm really psyched.
That's awesome. So I need you, Lucinda. All of you folks out there, y'all have y'all cell phones. I want you to repeat that date again. Y'all put this reminder in your phones so that we all can watch it at the same time simultaneously. The date and the time again,
It's
Lucinda.
November 26th. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving at 8 p.m. and the channel is Lifetime.
There you
And it's
go,
12
girl.
days of Christmas Eve. So yeah,
There you go.
I'm very excited about it, and it was wonderful. Everybody was so nice. It's like the director, the cast, the crew. It was really a great project to work on. It's like what I have been affirming, that I work on things that I love, and I don't care who says it doesn't work. Affirmations work. I've been doing it all my
Gotcha.
life before I even knew. I mean, that's how I got to be valedictorian. I just kept saying, I'm going to be valedictorian. I'm going to be valedictorian because I thought my mother ought to have one. So I decided it was my job to do it.
Okay, okay. I want you to put a
Awesome.
pin right there. Heaven, do you have any events coming up before we go into this question? I want to get this out of the way.
Well, I do have the presidential award event. It will be on October 29th. I don't have all the details, but it is on my Instagram page. But I will be awarded, and really, that's all.
Wait a minute. Now give them your Instagram page so they know to go there.
My Instagram is I am model heaven HEAVEN.
Okay, but that's not all, Heaven. Don't you have a coat and toy drive coming up for the youth in the
Yes, I
community?
do have a coat and toy drive that it will be for the community for my I believe not sixth but I believe seventh annual back to school, not back to Christmas. I have so much going on. Back to
I get
Christmas
it.
drive by. You can go to my page on Instagram at Heaven Help One, and you can see my website www.heavenhelpone.com to see more information about the toy and coat drive, and also if you want to donate, it's also on there. And if you want to add your name to the list, you can email me at heavenhelpone@gmail.com.
Okay, Miss Heaven, you guys. I mean, when I look at you ladies, you guys are just so awesome. But I want to get this question out the way. I think it's the only one I see tonight, and it says, because y'all don't tell us about the good stuff, okay? You guys are just awesome and you're doing wonderful things. The question says, what have been some difficult areas that you can share while pursuing your career goals? And we're going to start with you, Heaven.
Learning lines, and you would have big lines, and I didn't like learning them. I didn't like really studying them, so I would like every time we would audition, me and my mom, I would record, then I would mess up on that line, and then I would get it, but then I would mess up again, so I would have to keep on memorization. But that did help me with how fast I can memorize big lines, short lines now, because it won't take me 1 days like I used to back when I was younger. It would take me under probably even an hour to
Oh,
learn
wow.
big lines and monologues, because I know how to do it now because of memorization, and I don't want to mess up. So you want to get this out of the way. I'm like, I gotta talk to myself sometimes. You gotta get this out the way, get the big lines out the way, do the small lines after. So just memorize bit by bit, and then say it out loud, not just in your head, because I used to do it just in my head, memorize, say the lines to myself, but do it out loud, because then that'll be better, because you're gonna be auditioning it out loud. So yeah, that's the only really difficult time that I really had with doing during my career. Nothing else seemed um difficult to me, but it wasn't really difficult because I overachieved it. So props to me. But
There
that's
you go. Yes, that is awesome. All right, now, Lucinda, we back to you now. What is, I asked you the same question, some of the difficulties
Uh,
that you had to deal with before we wrap this thing up. I want to hear a few of them.
I think the most difficult thing for me, that not that really mattered, like not that other things didn't matter, like there were times when there was one time when I realized I didn't have money to pay my bills at the end of the month, and I said, oh my God, I need a job, you know, um, but God took care of me, and money came in, so one being like on edge about paying bills, because as an actor, I was like, okay, you got to make money, you don't have a 9 to 5 anymore, you don't want to spend all your savings. So anyway, I got through that, but the most difficult thing for me, really, when I look back, is really understanding the difference between theater, performing for commercials, performing for film and television. Learning and understanding the difference in those things have been the most difficult thing for me. And I'm just starting to get the whole thing, which I guess is why I'm just starting to book TV, like major TV and movie roles, because I'm starting to get that. And I basically buckled down in 2016 and said, I'm going to learn the difference between commercials and film and TV, because I'm going to book. And I've basically spent, how many years is that? I don't know, like 6 or 7, work taking classes and workshops, and and trying not to agonize, but trying to get it. And I'm finally getting it, but it took that much time, and I had to stay in the game. And also, like in the year when I wasn't booking and not quit, that was very difficult, to audition all year long. And I think I did book one job that year, but that was hard. Like 12 months and you're not booking. I really, literally got to where I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm going home for Christmas. And then I booked a job. And then I had to, like, you know, I lost money on the airline ticket, because it was like, you can go home or you can do the job. So those things, not getting books, not having a 12-month drought, that was very difficult. And learning the difference between commercials and film and television, like how to audition for those things, how to deliver those lines, and someone told me, I had a session with someone. They said, you're very naturally commercial. And I said, uh-huh. So when people say be natural, the problem was and that wasn't working. And so I had to learn how to translate what I'm being told into what they want to see, because what's natural for me, I realized, wasn't really what they were looking for. They were looking for what's natural in their mind. So understanding really for me was the hardest thing, like understanding what people meant and what it looked like when I did it, because I'm naturally kind of, and
Yeah.
if you saw Kingdom Business, I wasn't like that. So, um, yeah, that was that was it for me. Was understanding, and I wouldn't quit. I spent thousands of dollars trying to learn what's the difference. And I try not to lament it. I said you had to do what you had to do. You had to take the risk because you want to know, and you don't have forever. In the second half, like, look, in the second half, so you can't be messing around. Like, get this thing done. So that's what I'm doing.
And that's
And that's the
it.
goal.
And we're going to wrap it up, but I want to throw this in there real quick when you talked about paying the thousands of dollars. And whatever industry you're in, whether it be TV, movie, commercials, modeling, dancing, author, all of that stuff. People see the finished product, but they don't see the time and the money that goes into it, especially when you're professional about it. Anybody can put any and everything out there. But when you go into the professionalism side of it, it takes money to make that stuff work. I got 4 books and 3 workbooks. They just didn't fall out the sky. There was
Amen.
blood, sweat, tears, and money that went into this stuff. So anything that you want to do, I've always heard the old saying, you have to spend money in order to make money.
I know that's true.
So when
I'm a
y'all see
witness.
us guys out here doing what we do, support us. If you want to send a donation here or there, that works. And I said all of that because tonight I want to thank the folks who gave us some stars. Those stars, they mean some things. We appreciate that. Thank y'all. Support us because it takes money to do these things. Y'all see the finished product, and we appreciate y'all supporting us. And we appreciate you guys coming in with conversation with Grandma Polly. And if y'all know anybody who wants to be highlighted, we're willing to do that too because that's what we do here. We highlight people who are doing great things in the community because if we don't, who will? You don't see stuff like this on the news. We see all the evil and the crazy stuff. But there's a lot of people of color who are doing great things. And people of all nationalities who are doing great things. So I just want to thank everybody. And again, our sponsors, Simone Enterprise and Entertainment Company, KJ Multimedia Solutions, TNT Real Estate. And I want to remind the audience, we're on Facebook, Conversation with Grandma Polly, The Big Red Kids, Renee Brown, Lucinda Carr, Heaven Hightower, and then she has Modeling Heaven Hightower. And if I get that wrong, chuck it to my head and not my heart. But y'all follow these people. Follow us. And if y'all like what y'all see, share it with a friend. Tell them about us. We're here every Thursday from 7 to 8. And we appreciate you guys for joining us. And we just love you guys to life. I'm going to give Lucinda 1 minute and I'm going to give Heaven a minute. Wrap it up, and then we're going to go out.
Well, all I have to say is this: never quit. If it's in your heart, I don't care. Just don't quit. That's the one thing all through my life. I just when it gets in here, I don't quit. I I don't quit unless I prove it can't be done, because that's just who I am. So just never give up on your dreams.
Heaven.
Same with what she said. Never quit, because I always like to sell myself. You're almost there. The finish line is right there. Don't give up. Don't slow down. Don't go too fast, because God has its timing and so do you. So just keep striving, keep dreaming, and keep supporting yourself mentally and physically.
Heaven. I understand where Lucinda coming from, but you just came on here with grown folk talk. I love it. You're so mature for your age, and I love that, honey. You keep doing what you're doing.
Hmm.
And I'm in Atlanta too. As a matter of fact, Lucinda's in Atlanta right now too.
Yes,
So
I
all of
am.
us are coming from Atlanta tonight.
Yes.
And all I can say is thanks to the audience. See y'all next Thursday. We have a young man who's coming on next Thursday, John Baxter, and he's getting ready to release his first film.
Oh.
Yes. So the guys been getting on me. They said, "You bringing in all these females, you're bringing in all these women. What about us?" So yes. All right, Kenny, stay in the background, stay in your lane. So yes, we have a guy that's coming in next week. We can't leave them out. We gotta, bring them in too. So yeah, we will
Yeah.
be continuing in the entertainment industry next week also. But I just thank you all for joining us, and peace out. We love y'all, and it was great talking with you, ladies.
Cool.